Okay, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about oxyacetylene torches and moving over from oxygen and acetylene to propane and acetylene. Yes, I know these aren't chained to the wall. They're not on the cart. Mine are normally chained out of the wall. I would shoot inside, but I've got one of my tube lights has gone out, and it's just really dark today. It's nice and gloomy overhead. It's been raining, so I just decided to wheel these outside. Put the caps on, wheel them outside. I've recently converted over to propane. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's very cheap. This big 250 cubic feet oxygen bottle is $25 or less at my local Napa to flip out. That is just a propane tank off of an RV, less than 20 bucks to fill. There's a big ass acetylene bottle. You've got your rental. For this one, I have my rental agreement and the cost to flip it out. So this is very expensive. I used to go through a lot of acetylene. I actually ended up going up with a company that has a bunch of old bottles because they were the cheapest at the time, and I used to go through it a lot. Now I'm not. So whenever I finish consuming, which there's not much left in that bottle anyways, when I consume that, I'm actually going to end my rental agreement with that guy and go over to propane. But I went to another place that's more known across the United States called Holstein Gas and picked up I have a Smith, which most of y'all probably know now. Smith or Miller bought out Smith. Come on, camera, adjust. So for my torch head, there we go. I went with this one, the SC-50-2. If you go from acetylene to propane, you must change out your torch tip. Doesn't matter if you have a Smith, a Victor, any other brand, you must change out your torch tip. You don't really have an option there. Your pressures are really the same. The biggest difference is you're not supposed to go over 5 psi on propane. And there's a few differences when you're cutting, but as long as you're heating and cutting, you're really not going to have an issue going over propane. So I figured I would do a little demonstrational video for you guys on doing the propane versus acetylene. It does cut a little bit different, and now also my acetylene tip. I forgot to mention that. This is what's in this case now. This is a 5/8 cutting tip, and this is an 1.25 inch tip. So yes, I know that I'm not using the exact same tip. I know I'm going to go through a little more fuel using the 1.25 inch, but again, it's cheap. It's basically less than $40 to go flip those both out, and I can go for a good decent time on both of those tanks of propane and oxygen. So give me just a second. Again, you need to wear a minimum of safety glasses. These are Oakley sunglasses. I can't operate a torch without sunglasses on. You need at least sunglasses on, a face shield preferably, goggles, something along those lines. In my case, I'm okay here, but remember, safety first, okay? Alright, now that we have our proper safety gear on, we're going to turn both our oxygen and our propane bottles on. I already have everything set up over here for the propane and oxygen. Here's what the propane tip looks like. It does burn slightly different than the acetylene does when you first initially light it. Yes, I'm about to break a cardinal rule and use a lighter. Okay, see how this is more of a more like just a flame, basically. Okay, we're gonna add our of course I fuck up and turn it off. It's just a tad different on your setup. Gonna get it going nice and hot. Alright, let's cut. Okay, now yes, as I was doing this, I realized it was probably not a smart idea to really have my crotch at the end of this pipe. I didn't burn myself, so we're okay. So now we're just going to get a close-up here of the cut. Okay, I'm not the best with the torch, so don't use this necessarily of whether to do it. I do know that it is a little bit more jagged per se than the acetylene is, but that's okay. For everything that I do is just going to be just fine. So I'm actually really not worried about that. I'm honestly really not worried about it here. I'm just not. It's for everything I'm going to do, it's just fine. It heats everything up phenomenally well every time I've used it to heat a nut or a bolt up, something along those lines. It's done just a fantastic job. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the video off here, and I'm going to switch tips and switch my acetylene, or switch my regulator over to the acetylene bottle. So hang in. So welcome back here. Now we have the acetylene, or my old acetylene tip in, and we're going to go ahead and fire this off. Everybody should, by this point, should know how to do a normal acetylene. See how the flame is different on the acetylene? Notice it's different. Now also, I'm running the exact same pressures as before, as far as my acetylene and oxygen. Again, always cut your thingamabob first. Oxygen first. Okay, so everything's the same as far as the pressures go, using the same amount of acetylene and the same amount of oxygen to make the cuts. Now I noticed right off the bat that the acetylene did heat this up a little bit quicker. Maybe it seems like it's a little better off. Something else I just want to add in the video here, and that it was not shown, was the fire putt putter. You must always have a fire putt putter when you're using a torch. Okay. Mine is simply, for the most part, unless I'm dealing around greasy areas, which I do have a fire extinguisher for that as well, I just have it full of water. I can cool things off with it, that I'm not worried about fucking up the temper and all that good shit. Again, you also should not, whether you're using acetylene or propane, you also probably really don't want to, of course now it's starting to rain, thank God I'm almost done, but you never want to cut against concrete because it pops and cracks and shit. So, here's a cut here with the propane, and cut, I'm not going to touch that, that would be very stupid. I'd hurt myself. Burn the shit out of myself, and that would not be fun. So we're just going to pick this up. Okay. I don't really want to set this on the hood of my truck, but the side the pliers is on is the oxygen and propane, and the side that my pliers are not on are the acetylene and oxygen. So in general, yes, this is going to be more of a that will be more of a jaggeder cut. You'd have to do more grinding and whatnot. But if you're just a guy in his garage that has decided that it's time for a propane torch or a cutting torch, you've moved up to that level where you actually need a torch to heat bolts up better, or cut bolts or whatnot, you decide that it's your time to go ahead and do such, look into it. You can go to your local welding supply places that will sell you the oxygen and bottles and everything. And another thing I want to add, actually, too, is you have to change your hoses. There's a lot of people that say you don't actually have to. Just next time you need to get hoses, go ahead and change over. Some people say you need to do it right away because the acetylene, mine are actually acetylene rated, and that's going to be a change that I'm going to do very soon. Mine are acetylene rated hoses, and I'm going to go to propane rated hoses because the propane will actually degrade those. So probably what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to probably buy the propane hoses and then sell my acetylene hoses. Or hose. But that's all I've got for you guys today. It's not hot enough anymore. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to always comment, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I try to have a within 24-hour return back time. But there you go. There's my torch setup, and also moving over to propane. I've got my eyeballs on a bottle. I'm doing some work for a guy, and he has a bottle for, my brain keeps taking shits while I'm trying to do this. He has a bottle for the forklifts. There we go. He has a bottle for forklifts, and I'm actually looking at seeing if he'll either let me have that bottle or let me buy that bottle off of him, so that way I can have that bottle for my propane instead of using this bottle from the camper. So, as always, have fun, stay safe, be careful, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which actually doesn't really leave you a whole lot. I'm going to go ahead and break this the rest of the way down. Remember, again, shut all of your valves. Shut your valves off. I'm letting the pressure off of mine because I'm going to be putting this away for a while. And I'm moving everything back inside. But as always, if you need anything, shoot me a comment. If you like the video, a thumbs up would be great. If you dislike the video, give me a comment on why. I know I'm also not the best at shooting videos. I'm just a redneck shooting videos and throwing them on YouTube for fun, for entertainment, and to teach other people what I know. So I'm not an expert, and sure as hell not a computer expert. But anyways, before I hop on another bunny rabbit I don't need to hop on to, y'all have a good time. If you need anything else, just shoot me a comment and I'll do the best I can. Thanks for watching.